Hey guys, Mr. 3D here, and in today's video, I'd like to talk to you about two potential titans that could be introduced later on in the nearby future for us to play in TitanFall 2. Now, before I do go ahead into the video, please take everything you're about to hear with a grain of salt. Unless Respawn and its devs actually say that these two titans are going to be in-game, don't take everything I say with 100%. I don't want to be misleading you guys into believing that two titans are going to be introduced in the game. I'm only going to be providing you with information that I currently have, information I currently provide, and hopefully information that could lead to more resources into whether these two titans are going to be introduced or not. So let's go into the main video. At the moment we have three titans that weren't introduced in the game: Archon, Ramm, and Monarch. Now Monarch was one of the first cases within the data files that was found by data miners that had some of his core abilities and abilities found out and explained about. At that point there, we had many data miners, and we had one specific data miner who went ahead, took what meshes he found, took some of the core abilities, and actually implemented it into a kind of test model, and actually presented us with what we currently know of would be Monarch. And Monarch actually looked a lot like BT. A few months later, Respawn drops us a trailer from Monarch Reigns and introduced us to a new titan called, you know what, Monarch. And that kind of led to many of us believing that this titan here wasn't actually meant to be introduced into TitanFall 2. Many of us actually believed that it was actually meant to be introduced into Frontier Defense. However, with the surprise from Respawn indicating that this was actually a new titan about to be dropped, this basically led to many of us to suspect that potentially in the near future we could be getting two more titans to fill out the other roles left out. So now that Monarch has been released, this leaves us with two titans that we don't have much information about. It leaves us with the Archon and the Ramm titan. Now the Archon is many people believe to be a Strider type titan, a arc cannon Strider titan. Not much indication indicates whether this is going to be true or not, as there's no core abilities explained, there's no abilities being explained, there's nothing to indicate what a weapon's going to be whatsoever. All we can go with is the Archon name and just general consumption that it's going to be an arc cannon Strider. Something that many people don't want to be introduced back in the game because of so-called PTSD and nightmares that it caused in TitanFall 1. However, if they were going to introduce the arc cannon Strider back into TitanFall 2, let's do hope that they actually balance it out this time. And when I mean balance, I mean make sure the weapon isn't capable of taking me out at ridiculously long ranges, and the fact that all it needs is just one shot at me to insta-kill me. Please, Respawn, if you are watching this or even listening, please make sure that the arc cannon, if it does come back in, you actually balance it. Within the current files though, what we do know about the Archon is that his name has been updated. That's all we currently know. Nothing else has been added, nothing else has been taken away. All we know is his name is currently in the files and is being updated by Respawn devs. And this basically indicates that maybe in the near future, this is a titan that could potentially be introduced. Because you have to remember, this is just like the Monarch situation, where we had the Monarch that had some of his abilities and cores actually introduced. When it actually came down to using the titan, we actually found out that most of his core abilities and his abilities, when compared to the data mine abilities found, were actually spot on. Our other titan now is called the Ramm. Now the Ramm was potentially meant to be a fighter ogre type, or a fighter berserker ogre, that was meant to focus primarily on melee. So think of Ronin, except instead of being a lightweight and fast mobile titan, this was meant to be a heavyweight / slow titan that was meant to do quite a lot of damage when based around melee ranges. Now at first when I heard about this, I kind of laughed. I thought to myself, why would you go with an ogre with fist abilities? That's kind of against what most ogres are. Ogres are usually the ones that sustain a lot of damage, and for an ogre to rely mainly on his melee, don't you think that's going to be incredibly slow when you think about it? However, when I looked a bit more into what could potentially be some of his abilities, I thought actually this could actually work. Now some of the abilities that were actually found within this file is that he has the ability to use the grapple hook. or a kind of specially designed grapple hook based around Titans. Now, whether this will work for pilots as well, I'm not sure, considering that they're quite large. But based around Titan, I can understand that adding a grapple hook to this Titan actually makes it a bit more dangerous when you think about it. The fact is, it can use its grapple hooks to bring in Titans closer and do extra more damage. This way then, Titans won't be able to actually escape. You can keep pulling them in, do more damage over and over again, or better off, you can pull them in into an area that could be potentially booby trapped by you and your colleagues. And this could potentially make it kind of a trapper type Titan, a Titan that's capable of using its environment to bring in unaware and potential players into your vicinity, trap them with you and your buddies, destroy them, and be able to take them in one by one. It also apparently has a Berserker Core. Now, if I remember right, I'm not 100% sure if this is right, so please correct me, but I believe a Berserker Core was actually introduced in TitanFall 1 at first. I might be confusing this with something else, but I'm pretty sure Berserker Core back in TitanFall 1 was one that basically increased your damage. Now, in this one here, apparently this Berserker Core will actually, yes, increase your damage for your melee, but also make your melee do explosive damage as well. Now, thinking about it, that sounds actually amazing, but at the same time as well, it's kind of going to be kind of wasted if you don't have the player within your vicinity. Now, what would be great is that if it increased the damage, but also increased your speed a bit. Since you are an ogre, you're not relatively going to be moving around fast. So by allowing us to actually move around a bit quicker while in that, I say, core ability, could potentially make it a bit more better. However, we're not 100% sure on this just of yet, as it hasn't been introduced whatsoever. So I can't give my full verdict whether this is an ability that needs to be buffed or actually just need to be nerfed, because it could be actually that potentially good. Now, out of these two Titans, we don't know a lot about what their main primary weapon is going to be. Now, we know for a fact that Archon could be an arc cannon strider, so there's a chance that the arc cannon could be introduced back in the game. For Ramm, however, I'm not 100% sure what his main primary weapon is to be. The only one I can actually logically think of that could be introduced could be the triple threat that was in TitanFall 1. Now, this was the main primary weapon that, if I remember right, shot out 3 or 4 bouncy balls of like these explosions. That could be introduced into the game, and that could be added to this Titan since it really focused on close range damage. However, that might not be the case, and we could actually potentially see a new Titan weapon be introduced. That would be great as well. Maybe, since Ramm is a close range type Titan, maybe he'll have a portable SMG that does a lot of damage up close, but at distances does terrible damage. So at the moment, this is the two potential Titans that could be introduced in the game. And just before I do head off, I do want to show you one picture that could potentially be Ramm. Now, although this picture here is actually Bison, there's not a lot of indication that says to us that, okay, this Titan might actually still be Ramm, but a remodified version. Because Ramm and Bison could potentially be the two same Titans. However, Bison could be in the first mode, or first prototype, and now Ramm is the second prototype. Plus, if we look at Bison, Bison's kind of bulky, like any ogre Titan is. So, this could potentially still be Ramm Mark II. There's no images for Archon, I'm afraid, but I'm gonna guess, at best, use your imagination, he's gonna be a Strider type Titan. So it's gonna be something similar either to Ronin, either something similar to Northstar, or it could potentially be a similar version of the standard Strider from TitanFall 1. Nobody knows. So yeah, that's everything I can provide for you guys. I'm incredibly sorry that this is everything I can provide. This is everything I could look for and find in the data files. There's not much information available, I'm afraid, until, I guess, after E3. So either after E3 we could get a new roadmap that indicates what more potential new equipment and Titans could be coming, or this could potentially be no Titans whatsoever to be ever introduced. This could be it. Monarch could just be the only one Titan to be introduced for us, just to see how the players react. So once again, guys, I am completely sorry that this is what I could provide and this is information. If there is any more information available, I will make sure to make a better video around this and provide more details and information for you to get even more hyped. Once again, thank you for watching. I do hope to see you again soon. Also, do be aware to subscribe, like and comment my videos if you enjoyed it. If you didn't, then by all means leave a dislike. I know where to improve on in the nearby future, and I know where to improve upon my performance for you guys. So see you later guys, and thanks for watching.